You've become accustomed to living with a bloated belly, annoying gas, and that feeling of heaviness that accompanies you all day long. Many people, especially as they reach a more mature age, believe that this is normal with age, a burden that they simply have to bear. But today, as your doctor, Dr. Fernando Manochi, I will show you that it doesn't have to be that way. Wait, stay with me, because in the next few minutes you'll discover the comprehensive 6-step daily method that I recommend to my patients. It's a gentle yet incredibly effective protocol that cleanses the colon of gas and blocks stool in a more gentle and sustainable way than many medications without their side effects. Welcome! I'm glad you've decided to dedicate these minutes to your well-being. Today we're going to talk about one of the most frequent topics in my office, although it's often spoken about in hushed tones, almost with shame. The health of our colon. Have you ever thought of your intestine as the silent engine of your body? When it works well, we don't even notice it. But when it starts to falter, when it becomes sluggish, our entire body feels it. You might notice it as a persistent lack of energy, that feeling of waking up tired, or perhaps as a bad mood that comes on for no reason, an irritability that surprises you. Maybe you feel it as brain fog, a difficulty concentrating. And of course there's the dead giveaway. Bloating that forces you to unbutton your pants after eating, the gas that makes you socially uncomfortable, and the frustrating irregularity of going to the bathroom. Many people live like this, convinced that it's an inevitable consequence of getting older. It's true that with age, peristalsis, those rhythmic contractions of the intestinal muscles that move food along, can slow down. The lining of the gut can change, and our microbiota, that community of good bacteria, changes. But giving in to these changes is like seeing your car engine smoking and deciding that's normal for your age instead of taking it to the repair shop. Our bodies have an amazing capacity for resilience if we give them the right tools. And today, I'm going to hand you that toolbox. The problem with an overloaded colon goes beyond simple discomfort. Imagine the sewage system in your home. When it gets clogged, not only does the dirty water stop flowing, but everything becomes sluggish and heavy. Similarly, when feces sit in the colon for too long, they dry out, harden, and become difficult to expel. Not only does this cause constipation, but this stagnant state can contribute to a source of low-grade inflammation in the body. The cause of many of the health problems that we associate with aging, such as fatigue, joint pain, skin issues, and a diminished mood, lies in that chronic inflammation. That's why what I'm about to introduce to you is not an aggressive purge or a one-time miracle cure. Forget about the powerful laxatives that empty your bowels in a flash, but can eventually lead to dependency. The method we're going to explore together is a comprehensive protocol, a set of simple yet powerful habits that, when practiced daily, retrain your gut. They teach it to work at its natural rhythm again, in a gentle, predictable, and sustainable way. This method is based on synchronizing with the body's natural rhythms, the so-called circadian cycle, using gentle stimuli to awaken the digestive system in the morning and prepare it for a restful night's sleep. It's an approach I've perfected over years of clinical practice, seeing transformative results in hundreds of my patients, especially those over 60 who had lost hope. So if you're ready to let go of the heaviness and regain lightness and energy, join me. We're going to walk you step by step on this path to a clean and functional colon. Let's get started. Step 1. The morning ritual, the indigo infusion. The first step begins the moment you wake up with a simple yet profoundly effective gesture, a hot infusion of indigo seeds. Many of my patients are surprised when I tell them that one of the most powerful tools for their digestive health is in their kitchen spice rack. Fennel, or Phoenicum vulgare, is a plant that has been revered since ancient times for its medicinal properties. and modern science is only just beginning to understand why. The problem that solves trapped gas and painful spasms. The most common complaint I hear, along with constipation, is gas and bloating. Doctor, by the afternoon I feel like a balloon that's about to burst, they tell me. This gas is largely trapped air produced by the fermentation of undigested food that gets stuck in a sluggish colon. This buildup can result in spasms, those painful cramps that come and go intermittently. This is where fenugreek comes into its own. Fenugreek is what the medical community calls a gaminative, a word that sounds a bit old-fashioned, but it simply means that it helps prevent the formation of gas and makes it easier to expel it. But not only that, it's also a natural antispasmodic. Science made simple. How does fennel seeds work? Fennel seeds are rich in volatile compounds, primarily an essential oil called anethol. When you make an infusion, these oils are released into hot water. When you drink it, the anethol acts directly on the smooth muscles of your intestines. Imagine your intestines are tense and contracted. This tension prevents feces and gas from moving freely. The anethol in fenugreek acts as a gentle relaxant for these muscles. It helps relax spasms and allows trapped gas to be released and move out naturally without violence. This action reduces bloating, relieves the cramps, and paves the way for feces to move unhindered. It has a calming and liberating effect. How? To make a perfect infusion, how you prepare it is key to extracting all its beneficiarii. Simply throwing a few seeds into hot water is not enough. Follow these steps. The correct dosage. Use 1 to 2 teaspoons of fenugreek seeds for every cup of water, about 250 for me. If this is your first time, start with 1 and see how it feels. The secret is in the activation. Before adding the water, place the seeds in the cup and crush them slightly with the back of a spoon. You don't have to pulverize them. Just break them up. This is essential because it breaks the shell and allows the essential oils to be released much better. Water temperature. Bring the water to a boil and remove it from the heat. Wait about 30 seconds before pouring it over the seeds. If the water is too hot, it could destroy some of the more delicate compounds. Resting is key. Once you pour the water, cover the cup with a saucer. This step is crucial so that the essential oils, which are volatile, do not evaporate. Let it sit for at least 10 minutes. Enjoy it slowly. After 10 minutes, strain the seeds and drink the warm infusion. Absorb. Take this moment as a calming ritual to start your day. Patient anecdote. Roberto's case. I remember Roberto, a 72-year-old patient who had been struggling with severe bloating for years. He had tried everything, but the relief was temporary. He was skeptical when I suggested something so simple. "Do you really think a tea is going to fix this?" he said. I asked him for a week of trust. Roberto started with his inoculum infusion every morning. On the 3rd day, he called me. After years of stomach issues, I finally got to the night without feeling like my stomach would burst. I still have gas, but it doesn't hurt. It simply exits. For Roberto, that small change was the beginning of it all. Relieving the internal pressure allowed the other steps to work much better. Think of it like opening the windows in a stuffy room before you start cleaning. Step 2. The releasing ozone. The secret of the stool. Now that we've calmed down the gut, it's time to talk about something that determines whether our bowel movements are complete and effortless or frustrating and ineffective. Toilet posture. It may surprise you, but our porcelain throne, symbol of civilization, is actually one of the biggest culprits behind constipation in the Western world. The problem it solves is incomplete evacuation, excessive straining. Have you ever felt like you didn't empty your bowel almost completely? Or found yourself nuksorumku, which can lead to problems like hemorrhoids, hemorrhoids? These are classic symptoms of mechanics. When we sit on a standard toilet, the 90-degree angle of our hips and knees is not ideal for bowel movements. Understanding simplified science. Let's use the analogy of a bent garden hose to illustrate. In order for water to flow freely, the hose must be straight. If there's a kink, the flow stops. Our bowels work in a similar way. Inside the pelvis, a muscle called the propertus encircles the end of the rectum. Its job is to keep the rectum flexed to ensure continence. When we sit at 90 grams, this muscle only partially relaxes, keeping one elbow in our intestinal tube. This forces the bowels to negotiate a tight bend, which requires considerable effort. And what is the natural posture? The squatting position. When we squat with our knees higher than our hips, the puborectalis muscle relax completely. This change in angle positions the colon rectum, eliminating the elbow. Evacuation becomes rapid and complete almost by gravity. It's like recreating the squatting position in a modern bathroom. No, I'm not asking you to install a latrine. The solution is simple and cheap. Use a small stool to raise your feet. Get a stool, any low stool, a stack of books, or a product designed for this purpose will do. The important thing is that it is the right height for your tirotimin, between 15 and 25 centimeters. The correct position. When sitting on the toilet, simply place your feet on the stool. This will raise your knees above your hips, mimicking a squatting position. Bend your torso. To optimize your posture, lean forward slightly, resting your forearms on your thighs. Breathe and relax. In this position, breathe deeply. Let your abdomen expand and take your time. The idea is to relax and let gravity do the work. This simple change can be transformative. My patients tell me that not only do they find it easier to go to the bathroom, but the feeling of complete emptying gives them a sense of well-being they haven't felt in years. Here's a patient story. Alana Shirley revelation. Alana, a 68-year-old retired teacher, had suffered from constipation for over a decade and dreaded going to the bathroom because of the pain. I've tried every fiber, every tea. Nothing works long-term, she confessed. I explained the analogy of the hose and suggested she use the stool her grandson used to brush his teeth. Following week, he returned to the office with a smile. "Doctor, it's like magic," he said. "I didn't have to use any force. It was easy. For the first time in 10 years, going to the bathroom wasn't torture." Don't underestimate the power of this step. We've calmed the inside with anger, and now we've opened the way with posture. Step 3. The awakening massage. Mobilizing the colon. Once the environment has been prepared and the exit road secured, we can move on to an active technique to stimulate movement. Abdominal massage. It's nothing esoteric. It's a practice validated by physiotherapy, incredibly effective for a sluggish colon. The problem it solves is a slow colon and stagnant stools. Often, the problem is not just that the stools are hard, but that the colon doesn't push them through with enough force. The stools get stuck, dry out, and accumulate. Abdominal massage mechanically stimulates the muscles in the colon wall, encouraging them to contract. The science made simple. Following the map of the intestine, for the massage to be effective, we must follow the path of the large intestine, which is shaped like an inverted U. The path of the S's begins at the bottom right, ascending colon, crosses to the left, transverse colon, and goes down the left side to the exit, descending colon. For this reason, our massage should always go in a clockwise direction. How to? The abdominal massage technique step by step. I recommend this massage in the morning or at night. It will take about 10 to 15 minutes. Preparation. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. This position relaxes your abdominal muscles. Warm up and breathing. Place your hands on your abdomen and take several deep breaths to relax. Starting point, bottom right. With your fingertips, start at the lower right part of your abdomen, just inside your hip bone. Ascending massage. Apply firm but gentle pressure and make small circular movements in a clockwise direction. Using your fingers, slowly walk them upwards along your right side until you reach underneath your ribs. Cross them across from right to left. Now, move horizontally to your left side, passing above your navel. Down to the left. When you reach the top left, start moving down that side. This is where the stool tends to accumulate. So pay attention to this area. End in the pelvic area. Continue to the lowest part of the left abdomen, almost at the groin. Broad closing movements. Finally, use the entire palm of your hand to make several lago lun slow circles all over your abdomen, always in a clockwise direction. Repeat the cycle. Do the entire cycle 5 to 10 times. Patient 8 story. Louisa unblocking aking. Louisa, 78, lived with a constant feeling of blockage. I taught her the technique, emphasizing the lower left part. Within a few days, she noticed a change. In the morning, she felt movement. She told me, I'm amazed. And on the third day, after my infusion and using the stool, I was able to evacuate effortlessly. I could feel it moving right where I had massaged it the night before. This step is proactive. It's a way of communicating with our gut through touch. Step 4. The hydrating power of prunes. After working the colon from the outside, it's time to act from the inside with a legendary nutritional ally, prunes. The secret isn't just in the what, but in the how and the why. The problem that solves hard, dry stools. One of the reasons why evacuation is difficult is that the stool is too dry. This happens when transit is slow. The colon reabsorbs more water from it. We need something that not only pushes, but also softens. Science made simple, the dual action of fiber and sorbitol. The effectiveness of prunes is based on two components that work together: soluble and insoluble fiber. Prunes have an ideal mix. Insoluble fiber acts like a broom, adding bulk to the stool to stimulate the colon. Soluble fiber forms a gel that softens the stool and makes it easier to slide. Sorbitol, the hydrating agent. This is the ace in the hole. Sorbitol is a type of sugar that is now well absorbed. When it reaches the colon, it acts by osmosis. It attracts water to the stool, like a magnet for moisture. This process hydrates them from the inside, transforming a hard mass into one that is soft and easy to expel. This combination is what makes them so effective. They push, soften, and hydrate. The how, the hydration method for maximum effectiveness. Eating a handful of prunes can work, but to enhance their effect, I recommend this method, the initial dose. So, start small, between 3 and 5 prunes. An initial excess can cause gas. The overnight soak. At night, put the prunes in a glass and cover them with warm water. The morning ritual. In the morning on an empty stomach, drink the soaking water first. Then, eat the plums, which will be incredibly soft and juicy. Adjust the dosage. Observe how your body responds. If the response is mild, maintain the dosage. If you don't notice much change, gradually increase to 6 or 8 plums. Everybody is different. Patient anecdote. Carlos's miracle gel. Carlos, a very logical 80-year-old engineer, told me, "Doctor, I eat agar, but I still get stuck." His problem wasn't lack of volume, but hardness. I explained to him about sorbitol and we started soaking plums. He came back a week later. "It's incredible. It's as if something turned the stones into gel. There's no more struggle, just a smooth glide among. The plums gave him the internal lubricant he was missing. Step 5. Intelligent hydration. It's not how much, but how and when. We come to a step that seems obvious, but that almost everyone does wrong. We all know that we should drink water, but the secret is not in the amount, but in how and when. The problem that fiber solves is that it clogs instead of helping. Sometimes increasing dietary fiber can make constipation even worse, right? It's a super common mistake. Fiber is like a dry sponge. It needs water to swell and form a soft mass. If you throw a dry sponge into a dry pipe, it gets clogged. For fiber to be our ally, it must be hydrated. The science simplified: water as a vehicle and softener. Water is essential for 3 reasons. It activates soluble fiber to form that lubricating gel. It allows insoluble fiber to increase in volume to stimulate the colon and keep stool hydrated. If the body is dehydrated, it will steal every last drop of water from the stool, leaving it like rocks. The how, the smart hydration strategy. Forget drinking jugs of water at once. The key is consistency. The morning glass of water. The most important habit is to start your day with 1 or 2 large glasses of warm water. It's an internal shower that activates the gastrocolic reflex, a signal that asks your colon to move salivai. Water with every meal and with fiber. Drink a glass of water with your meals, and every time you eat something rich in fiber, such as prunes, oats, legumes, always have water with it. Keep the bottle in sight. Always keep a bottle of water handy. The sight of it will remind you to take small breaths. The feeling of thirst is palliative, so we can't rely on it alone. Listen to your urine. The color is a great indicator. It should be a pale yellow. If it's dark, you need to drink more. Herbal teas. Count. Inebriant tea and other unsweetened teas also add to your overall hydration. Patient anecdote. Marta's mistake. Marta, 75, assured me that she drank her 8 glasses of water a day. I drink them all between 6 and 8 p.m. while I watch TV, he explained. His mistake was distribution. His gut processed the day's fiber with very little water. By the time his hydration session rolled around, the damage was done. I gave him a simple task: to spread those 8 glasses throughout the day. The change was radical. It's like I've greased the machinery, doctor. Everything flows. He didn't increase the amount. He distributed it intelligently. Step 6. Gentle movement and a light dinner. Closing the cycle. We come to the last step, which are 2 habits that work together to consolidate the day's work and prepare the body for the next day. Part A. Gentle movement that simulates the problem it solves. A sedentary lifestyle that puts the intestine to sleep. Our bodies are designed to move. Spending hours sitting is poison for digestion. Physical movement stimulates the contractions of the intestine. A sedentary lifestyle leads to a sluggish colon. Science simplified here: gravity and muscle stimulation. Walking has a double benefit. An upright posture helps gravity, and the rhythmic contraction of the abdominal muscles when walking act like a pump that stimulates the colon. I'm not talking about running a marathon. We're looking for gentle, regular movement, like digestive walking. The simplest and most effective recommendation is to incorporate the gentle 30-minute walk each day, ideally after a main meal. After eating, wait about 15 to 20 minutes and then go for a walk at a leisurely pace. Consistency is key. It's better to walk for 15 minutes every day than for 2 hours on the weekend. Alternatives at home: if you can't go outside, bring your knees to your chest while lying down, or do gentle waist twists while sitting in a chair. Part B. The light dinner that repairs the problem it solves: overloading the digestive system at night. The digestive system also follows a circadian rhythm. At night, Its activity decreases to focus on repair. A large dinner, rich in fat or fried foods, forces it to do intensive work when it should be resting. This causes heartburn, gas, and morning bloating. The science made simple. Digestive rest for nighttime regeneration. An early and light dinner provides your digestive system with the time it needs to complete the digestion of food before you go to sleep, allowing it to transition into its repair mode. They're like soft close concept. The goal is a nutritious yet easy to digest meal. Eat dinner early. Try to eat dinner at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. Choose light foods. Opt for soups, vegetable creams, steamed fish, or grilled chicken. These are easier to digest than red meat or fried foods. For the nighttime infusion, you can take another cup of warm inebriation tea to aid digestion and relax before bed. Final anecdote, this synergy in a married couple's life. I remember Jorge Yana, who was approaching 80. He suffered from constipation, she from gas and poor sleep. They adopted the 6 steps together, but the change that tied everything together was starting to take a walk together after dinner and replacing their heavy dinners with soups and vegetables. It's our time of day, Anna told me. I'm sleeping soundly for the first time in years. Jorge added, in the morning I feel like everything is ready. The system works like clockwork. As you've seen, there's no silver bullet. The solution lies in the synergy of simple habits that reinforce each other. Let's recap the journey. Morning infusion of fennel to calm and release gas. Correct posture on the toilet for complete and effortless evacuation. Abdominal massage to wake up a sluggish colon. Prunes, soaked raisins to soften and hydrate stools. Smart hydration, the catalyst that gets everything flowing. Gentle movement and a light dinner to stimulate during the day and repair at night. Each step is a piece of the puzzle. Together, they create a healthy digestive ecosystem. This method gives you back control based on consistency and connection with your body. Let me be very clear. This method is incredibly effective for functional constipation and common discomforts. However, it is not a substitute for professional medical advice. This protocol is a wonderful first line of defense, but there are situations where specific medical treatments are necessary and more effective. If your symptoms are severe, if you see heavy blood in your mouth, or are experiencing unexplained weight loss, it is essential that you consult your doctor to rule out any other conditions. Information is only useful when put into practice. I invite you to choose 1 or 2 of these steps and start tomorrow. Maybe the infusion stool or the walk after eating. Start small. I would love to hear about your experience. Leave a comment sharing which step you found most interesting. Your stories enrich this entire community. If you found this video helpful and think it could help someone you know, please share it. A simple gesture can change a person's quality of life. And if you would like to continue receiving clear and practical health advice, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, we can learn to take care of this wonderful body that accompanies us. Thank you for your time and trust. Remember, well-being is in your hands, one habit at a time. Take good care of yourself.